You see it everywhere, right? The AI revolution, the unstoppable rise of electric vehicles. They're literally changing our world as we speak. But what if I told you that behind both of these massive, world-changing shifts, there's a single hidden giant, a company that most people have never, ever heard of, that makes it all possible?
So who is this mystery company? This essential engine that's powering basically everything cool that's happening in tech right now? I can almost guarantee you it's not a name you'd expect.
Okay, get ready for it. It's a Japanese company called Disco. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. The name sounds like it should be spinning records, not silicon wafers. But honestly, that's where the fun stops, because the work they do is deadly serious. We're talking samurai-like precision, operating at the absolute bleeding edge of technology. All right, so to really get how Disco became this absolute powerhouse, we've got to look at their mission. And you know what? On the surface, it sounds almost ridiculously simple. It all boils down to just three basic actions: cutting, grinding, and polishing. It all starts with this thing right here, a semiconductor wafer. And the best way to think about it, honestly, is like a giant uncut pizza. Seriously. But instead of pepperoni, it's covered with thousands of super powerful microchips. And before any of those chips can get into your phone or into a massive AI server, you gotta slice up that pizza, right? And that is where Disco's whole philosophy comes in. It's their mantra, Kiru Kizuru Migaku. It's Japanese, and it means cut, grind, and polish. It's that simple. First, they kiru, or cut, that wafer pizza into individual little chip slices. Then they kizuru, or grind those slices down to be impossibly thin. We're talking nanometer-level precision here. And finally, they migaku, or polish, the surface until it's absolutely flawless. That simple three-step mission, that's how they took over the world. Okay, so you're probably thinking, cut, grind, polish. That's it? How does that lead to total market domination? Well, it turns out it's not just what they do, it's the absolutely brilliant way they've structured their business around it. So just how dominant are we talking? Well, for the super specialized machines that do all that cutting, grinding, and polishing, Disco controls, wait for it, up to 80% of the entire global market. 80%! Let's be really clear here. That's not just a market lead. That is a near total monopoly. I mean, when you control 80% of a critical step that every single advanced chip in the world has to go through, you're not just a supplier anymore. You're the gatekeeper. But here's where it gets even smarter. Their real genius isn't just the tech. It's their business model. It's the ultimate razor and blade strategy, just brought into the 21st century. They sell you the machine, the razor. But the real nonstop profit, that comes from selling you the blades over and over and over again. Here's how it works. They sell you one of their incredibly precise machines, the dicers, the grinders, that's the razor. But to actually use that machine, you have to buy their special, patented, diamond-tipped blades and grinding wheels. Those are the blades. And here's the brilliant part. As technology moves forward, as chips get more complex and are made from harder and harder materials, well, those blades just wear out faster. So the more advanced the tech world gets, the more money flows right back to Disco. It's just genius. And you can see the results of this model right here. Just look at that revenue growth. It's not just consistent, it is accelerating. This isn't some company trying to catch lightning in a bottle. This is a finely tuned financial engine that just gets more and more powerful as everyone else innovates. But hey, how do you stay on top, right? When you have an 80% market share, you've got a giant target on your back. The only way is through constant, relentless innovation. And that's exactly what Disco did when they faced their biggest challenge yet. So, this huge challenge came directly from the EV boom. See, the special power chips inside electric vehicles are made from these crazy new materials, like silicon carbide, or SiC. Now, what's the problem? Well, SiC is one of the hardest materials known to man. It's almost as hard as diamond itself. So their classic diamond blades, they've really struggled to cut through it effectively. So what does Disco do? Do they make a slightly better diamond blade? Nope. They completely changed the game. Instead of trying to brute force cut this nearly uncuttable material, they invented something totally new, the Cobra process. It's amazing. It uses a super focused laser to create a weak spot inside the material itself. Then they can just snap it apart. No physical cutting needed. And the difference this made, it is just staggering. Look at this. The old way, with the diamond wire, took about 2 hours to slice one wafer. Cobra does it in 25 minutes.
The old way wasted a ton of that super expensive SiC material with every cut. Cobra has basically zero material loss. So what does that mean in the real world? It means you get 1.5 times the number of chips from the exact same starting block of material. It's faster, it's way more efficient, and it wastes almost nothing. A total game changer.
Okay, so this whole story about innovating with lasers for EVs, it connects directly to what's happening right now with generative AI. Because that same pattern, facing an impossible new problem and solving it, it's playing out all over again. And you don't have to take my word for it. This is straight from Disco's latest earnings call summary. Record-breaking Q1 fueled by a surge in demand for generative AI-related semiconductor equipment. This isn't just some theory. It is the absolute core of their business today. Every single company rushing to build AI needs chips, and every single one of those chips has to pass through Disco's machines.
And the big driver for this AI boom? It's a special type of chip called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. Think about it. For AI to be so fast, you can't just make chips bigger. You have to stack them vertically, like a tiny skyscraper of memory. But building that skyscraper is an insane manufacturing challenge. It demands precision that's almost unbelievable. And that, my friends, is exactly Disco's specialty. And this chart just lays it all out. Look at this. Memory, mostly HBM for AI, now makes up over 40% of their shipments. That is a huge slice of their business. It's the perfect example of that old saying, right? In a gold rush, don't dig for gold, sell picks and shovels. And right now, Disco is selling the most important, most advanced picks and shovels on the planet. All right, so we've seen how they work, how they dominate, but what can we learn from this hidden giant? What's the really big takeaway here? Well, first, it's that picks and shovels idea. Disco's enabling the entire tech gold rush, so they win no matter which AI company or which EV company comes out on top. Second, it's about obsessive focus. Their entire empire is built on perfecting just 3 simple things: cut, grind, polish. Third, a killer business model can be even more powerful than a flashy product. That razor and blade system is an absolute money-printing machine. And finally, you can never stop innovating. Even when you're at 80% market share, you have to be willing to reinvent everything, just like they did with lasers, to stay at the top of the food chain. And all of this leaves us with one final, kind of profound question to think about. In our world, a world that is just obsessed with crazy complexity, these giant AI models, intricate software, could it be that the biggest, most sustainable advantage isn't being complex at all? Could it be just perfecting the simplest, most essential step? Being the undisputed, absolute best in the world at just cutting, grinding, and polishing.